Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel, Blue Lady Couture. Today I'm doing something a little bit different and not what I was entirely expecting to do. I'm going to do a bit of a kind of fabric sewing shopping haul for you. My original plan was to start filming my next part in my new Regency series, which you will hopefully have seen, if not the introduction or the first part. You will have seen some of it, I think, by the time this video goes out. So yes, my plan was, it is now the Friday following making my Regency stays, so I made those last week, and I was planning to carry on with my Regency project this week, but I've got customer commissions that really need to get on with, and I can't really put them off till next week, so I'm afraid my little Regency project is just going to have to wait a little while longer till you see some more from that. But in the meantime, I thought, well, I need to film something to go out this week really, so let's show you some pretty fabrics that I've been buying, and it'll be interesting to see what you guys think of me doing shopping hauls for fabric and sewing kind of notions. If that's something that you like, do let me know in the comments down below. I'd love to know, and I can potentially do more of these over the year going forward, as there's something that I can do sort of fairly quickly, you know, on a Friday morning. I can film this and then get the video out sort of later on the following week. So yeah, so let me know. First up is these, and you think, where have you been shopping? You're supposed to be in a lockdown, and you would be right. We are still in a national lockdown, but this shopping was done in October. I know, I'm sorry. It's terrible. So yeah, so in October we were actually not in a lockdown. We were kind of, there were still restrictions, but we could start to go out and about to places. And my husband and I have been out on a day trip up to the coast to see the grey seal colonies, where they start to come ashore and they have their pups on the beach. And it's about an hour's drive away from us. And we thought, you know what, we're going to go out for the day and go see the seals and their pups, and you know, give the car a good run out because it's not been anywhere. Yeah, and the day we went ended up being a bitterly cold, freezing cold day, blown a gale, wet, windy, horrible, and unfortunately we just didn't spend a lot of time up on the beach. It was just far too cold, but we did see some seals and pups, and it was really lovely, and they were very cute, but it was so cold and windy you couldn't really stay out on the beach very long. So on the way back home, our route actually took us past one of the country's biggest antique centres, and we were a little bit not really sure about going around shops. But we thought, you know what, well, it was a weekday, we'd taken some time off during the week to have a bit of a break, and then we thought, well, we'll call in. If it doesn't look too busy, perhaps we'll kill an hour or two, just have a little moochie around. If we feel uncomfortable, we'll come away. We had masks and sanitizer and everything, so that's what we did, and it was okay. There was one incident where I was looking at the shelves, I was crouched down, kind of looking at something, and a woman stepped up right behind me and leaned over to look at something on the shelf above my head, at which point I had some crosswords, shall we say, and I stormed off around the corner. Very, very professional, but at the same time, what was she thinking? Oh, and that's why we don't like going out shopping much at the moment. Not that we can at the moment, but keep your distance, people, please. Just anyway, so yeah, so I managed to do a little bit of shopping. And I think I can remember what I bought. Oh, yes, I remember. So also these are all kind of sewing and vintagey related issue bounding items. So the first thing that I picked up is some embroidery threads, so flossing silks, and these will be great for doing flossing on corsets and also inside Victorian jackets as well that have boning in them. So I like to floss the ends of the bonings, as it just looks pretty and just adds that little finishing touch to the little boning channels as well. It just makes it look really, really pretty, and that little sort of historical detail that's nice. So yeah, so it's obviously these can be quite expensive if you buy these new. I mean, these aren't particularly old, they've obviously come from a house clearance, I suspect, somewhere. But yeah, it's just nice to pick them up in some different colours, and because they are second hand, they were a bit cheaper than they should have been. I don't know if I've got the price of what I paid for these. Missed something in the bag. Yeah, it doesn't give me what I paid individually, but the total I paid for the 3 items in this bag was £10. So the next item that I picked up, so it's from the same seller, so that's some more thread, but these are actually silk threads, I believe. To be honest, I have never bought actual silk thread before, so I thought that was interesting, and again that's handy to have as an alternative to the polyester threads as well. Then the final thing I bought from this particular seller was actually some patterns, which is unusual for me because I don't generally buy a lot of patterns. As you all know, I do a lot of my own drafting for things, but I saw these and I do distinctly remember these were only £3. So obviously they have been opened. I have no idea if the patterns are all there, what condition they're like, how they've been cut. I don't know. But for the sake of £3, I thought it would be an interesting thing to buy. And if I can make use of it, great. If I can't, I can potentially always pass it on to somebody else. Sorry, the light is reflecting on the plastic on these. So yeah, so obviously that's a kind of a 50s-esque, early 50s kind of design, I want to say. And then there is also a pattern in here for some vintage underwear, and that is potentially 40s looking at the hairstyles, I don't know, but it was, yeah, it looked interesting, and it's kind of cute little kind of chemise kind of petticoat slip. Yeah, I don't think it's 60s because she's wearing like cute little peep toe shoes, and these sandals that she's wearing look very much like sort of vintage 40s sandals that I've seen for sale. I've not heard of the pattern company, Economy Design. I don't know whether that's like from a magazine or whether it is actually a pattern company. Obviously the other one is Butterick, which is a very well known pattern brand. But yeah, I don't really know a lot about vintage patterns, so if you've got any tips or advice, do let me know in the comments down below. I'd love to hear from you. But maybe I'll do a separate video. That was kind of my idea when I bought it, that I might be able to film obviously having a go at making one of these and following the pattern and seeing how I get on. And yeah, so there's obviously a more complicated dress with, I'm so sorry about the light, with all this ruching detail around the bodice, which is rather pretty. And then obviously this is kind of a much more potentially simpler project to try and start with, which is this kind of baby doll chemise kind of thing. I don't know, a slip petticoat. I don't know if it's a slip or a petticoat. No, oh no, it is, yeah, because it's got, you can see the little picture on there, it's got a gusset, so yeah. So that was everything in that bag, so that came to £10, which I think that's pretty good for all those embroidery kind of threads, which will last me probably forever. You know, it doesn't take a lot of thread to do, unless I'm doing a real lot of flossing on a corset. But yeah, in general, embroidery kind of flossing threads like that will last me a long time if I'm just doing a few boning details here and there. And then the pattern seemed like a fun and interesting thing to buy, so yes, I was really pleased with that. Then we carried on looking around, and obviously with this particular antique centre, Hemswell, it's lots of different buildings. It's all set in an old disused RAF base from the sort of 40s and 50s. So there's all these separate buildings which would obviously have been the officers' quarters. So you kind of go in one building, if you pick stuff up you buy it and pay for it in that building, and then you can go on to the next building and then you pay for stuff there, which is why I've got separate bags and separate receipts. So obviously this next one was from a different building and a different seller. And for these two items I paid the princely sum of £5, and that is for some lace notions. These are white, so these are the lighting's gonna love this. Now, unfortunately, they've taken the labels off, which obviously had the price details on, but it also had the item information on, and I can't remember exactly how much of these, what length there is of these, which is annoying, so I'm going to have to measure them. But the first thing I bought was, if you can see that, if it's gonna focus, is some lace trimming. So this is a narrow lace trimming. Excuse the rustling. So So you see it's kind of a crochet lace trimming. I don't think it's cotton, it could be. It looks a bit shiny for cotton, so it might be a blend or a synthetic, but it was quite pretty, and I thought that's ideal for doing chemises and things like that, bloomers, that kind of thing. Not a huge amount of it, but you know, it's one of those things. It was cheap and cheerful, and it's handy to have this kind of stuff in my stash. I do make quite a lot of bloomers and chemises and petticoats and things for clients, so it's handy to have. So that's some of that. And then the next item that I bought, so this is a length of rather beautiful embroidered edge trimming, kind of like embroidery on glaze, but obviously it's absolutely beautiful. Yeah, absolutely gorgeous. And I think and that you can tell. I mean, it's a lovely cotton, and it's so fine. If you compare it to like the modern embroidery on glaze trims that you get, it's just, you just can't compare it. So yeah, so as soon as I saw that, I thought, yeah, right, that's nice. That will make a really nice, lovely detail on a pair of bloomers. And even then, people are probably never going to see those. You know, it's those little things sometimes, isn't it? You definitely see a rather lovely pair of bloomers coming from this. So, and then moving on, I have this, which is fabric. So yeah, I know I'm being a bit naughty. I shouldn't really be buying fabric unless it's for customer work. And one of these items is for customers, so you're going to get a sneak peek at something that I'm making for a client. But yeah, in general, I am trying to work my way through this Oda stash, but sometimes, you know, something catches your eye and you can't resist it. And I kind of figure, so long as I do actually have a project in mind for it, it's not so bad. And obviously it depends on the price of it and things like that as well. So yeah, so that's what I did. I was shopping for customer work, buying fabric for a customer, and then a couple of other items kind of fell in my basket as well, as you do. So let's have a look, shall we? Let's see what we've got. Ooh, pretty. So I've not got the pricing for these, so I do apologise. I will try and remember roughly off the top of my head. So the first item that I have bought is 2 meters of this Italian cotton shirting, which is in this lovely blue-grey stripe. And the reason I bought it is because it was reduced in the sale. This is beautiful. This feels so soft. This is beautiful fabric. Yeah, lovely fine Italian shirting fabric is normally quite expensive, and this was in the sale at, I believe, £6.99 a metre, with the idea that this could make a rather pretty Edwardian kind of blouse, or 1890s sort of kind of blouse. So this is the item that I bought for a client, and this is rather lovely. So this is a wool twill. It is. Okay, so it's a blend, 55% terylene, 45% wool, and it is made in England, as it says, and selvaged. But this is a lovely dark olive twill wool. It was actually being sold as regimental khaki, but I don't know if you'll see, but if you look closely, it's got a very slight red sheen in it. It's got like a red colour running through it, which I don't think you'd get in normal like regimental khaki wool, but it is lovely. And this is going to be used to make into a customised version of my Beatrix skirt. If you want to go check out that, you can look it up on my Etsy store. My Beatrix skirt is a 1915 style skirt that I offer on there. It's got lovely big spacious pockets. So yeah, a custom version. I normally do it in linen, but occasionally I get requesting to have it made out of wool or other fabrics as well, and this is one of those. So I'm excited to make this. And it's nice. It's not like itchy wool actually as well. It's quite nice to wear on the skin. It's not a scratchy itchy wool. That's a nice suit weight wool that I picked up from there. And again, I think that was on sale as well, because that is one of the things that I do find, and I do obviously have to make clients aware of that, is they often request natural fibres like wool, but wool is unfortunately horrifically expensive, and I feel it shouldn't. And I could go on a whole rant about how, you know, if we supported our sheep farmers and we, you know, here in England, we were once one of the greatest wool producing nations in the world, and that industry has gone. We just don't have that anymore, and now wool is decent quality wool is hugely expensive. You know, often something like this can be £20-30 or more a metre, and that puts it out of the price range of a lot of people, which I think is a huge shame, because wool is such a versatile fabric. And yeah, it's one of the things. But I managed to get this on sale. Fabric places are starting to change over from like their winter fabrics into more summer kind of themed fabrics, so you can sometimes pick up a bargain with sort of remnants of rolls that are left over. So tip for you. Then the final item I bought, which another little indulgence for me. I was clearly obviously in Regency shopping mode with having seen Bridgerton, and I'd done my Bridgerton review, and then I decided I was going to do my Bridgerton Regency wardrobe kind of revamp project. Yeah, so I was clearly in Regency mode when I bought this. So as you'll know, if you've seen my planning video for the Regency project, I'm using a stash fabric to make a Daphne kind of inspired dress, which is a very modern embroidered nylon tulle, which is completely inauthentic for actual Regency wear. So I was kind of in the market. I had a cotton Regency dress. Yeah, trying to find the right fabrics for it has always been, to make enough one has always been a bit of a struggle. I kind of keep an eye out, but it was always one of those projects that was kind of on the back burner. But now that I've kind of committed to making a new Regency wardrobe, I found this. Which, and it's probably not really day wear, but mark on it there. Hopefully that is just on the selvage and not on the rest of the fabric, because that would be annoying. But yeah, I bought this, which is a Dobby spot cotton. So it's got a stripe to it, and it's got the little Dobby spots on it, and the stripe actually has, I don't know if you'll see it might just catch the light, but it does have a lurex thread running through it, so it's a little bit fancy. It's a bit fancy for Regency day wear, but I just couldn't resist it. Again, it was on sale. I think so, $6.99 or $7.99. Was it as much as that? Anyway, I went a bit mad and I bought all they had. I need 3 meters to make a Regency dress, and this is actually quite wide as well, so there's tons and tons of fabric here. 3 meters to make a Regency dress. They had 8 meters left in stock, so I bought the whole lot. But then I actually had an email a couple of days ago saying that they actually only had 7.5 meters in stock, so obviously refunded me the cost of half a meter. I've got enough to make potentially a second, well, I have got enough to make a second dress. I'm always on the lookout for kind of a stripe kind of Regency suitable fabrics like this to make a dress to put in my Etsy store. You know, this was so pretty I couldn't pass it up, so yeah, I bought the lot, and it will get used for Regency dresses. Definitely one for me. There's potentially going to be another one available for sale, so if you're interested, let me know. That is my little haul video, so I hope you enjoyed that. If you found that interesting, do let me know in the comments down below if you'd like to see more haul videos. I can certainly record them as kind of separate videos to go up on the channel as well. Yeah, do give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and if you subscribe to my channel and click the little notification bell in whichever top corner it is, you will be notified when my next video goes out, which hopefully will be the next part in my Sew Along Regency wardrobe project. You can also, if you want to support my channel, you can go to my Ko-fi account and buy me a coffee for a couple of pounds to help support me and continue making content like this. or you can follow me on my Instagram, on my Facebook, and as you'll have heard, I do have an Etsy shop where I do sell some of my designs as well. Do go check those out, please. That would be really appreciated. Thank you very, very much for watching, and I will hopefully see you in my next video. Take care, guys. Bye.